Sporting Journal Radio, presented by Onyx.
Let's go back to Willie's experience on the opener, Eric.
Right.
Tell us about it.
So, again, I'm going to go back to everything coming together, right? Like this was not, eventually it became intentful, but we didn't set out to do this. But we had a couple of travel bloggers, and they're travel bloggers. They're not necessarily fishing bloggers. And my father-in-law, who is new to the sport of fishing, they have a place at East Silent Resort on East Silent Lake. And I knew my father-in-law was going to be up and my mother-in-law. And so as we were looking for boat hosts, I asked my father-in-law if he would be a boat host. And then I told him, I said, it'll be you and Willie. And, Willie's only 12, so I didn't know if he would step into his role or not. I didn't know if he would shy away from it. But the long story short, this couple met up with my in-laws and Willie Saturday morning, and they fished for 4 hours. And my father-in-law said that the gal asked Willie 1,000 questions, like literally she just kept asking him questions, and he had 1,000 answers. And he stepped into the role, and he was a good host. And the final tally was Willie caught 8 fish and everybody else caught 0. So it just worked out perfectly. I had a pair of travel bloggers who don't know much about fishing, and I could put them at East Silent Lake Resort, which is an awesome resort, which my in-laws were already staying at, right? And then I had a kid and a grand, so they had a completely different experience, that kind of that family, generational, laid back, let's go for a pontoon ride and see if we can catch some fish. And that fit their style.
But I heard they missed more than they could count or something. Is that what I?
Well, he told them to say they something like, yeah, I don't know what it was, but he stepped into his role really, really well. Awesome. And my grandpa, his grandpa, my father-in-law said the only question he struggled with, well, there was 2 of them. She asked him what his favorite lake was, and he's like, I'm not telling you that. It was so good job. He knows. And then she asked him, what else do you love about Ottertail County other than fishing? And he kind of gave her a blank stare, like,
what else is there?
I don't know. What else is there? So, no, I was super glad. And shout out to my buddy, Tony Grosskreitz, because in the planning process, he's like, how are you going to get your family involved? And I was like, they're not necessarily from an all hands on deck, but just from, this is only going to happen. I mean, this is the last time I'm ever going to chair this thing. So how can we get the family involved to make them feel like it wasn't just dad working, we were all part of the same thing. And so Willie obviously was involved as a boat host and probably the youngest boat host ever. I don't know. We'll have to look through the record books, but co-boat host, to be completely honest.
Hear more at sportingjournalradio.com or wherever you get podcasts.